Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined, as always, by Keelan. What's up, man?
Not much at all. Not much at all.
Good. Happy. Is it Sunday? I forget what day it is.
You know, that's why I paused, because I was trying to remember what day it was. It's a holiday weekend, so let's just run with that. Right. It's a holiday weekend.
A happy holiday weekend, yeah. And we got Dijon here. How are you, man?
I'm doing okay. Same here. I'm just Sunday.
It is Sunday. Okay. My suspicions have been confirmed. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in with us. We very much appreciate it. Or any other time that you're tuning in with us, thank you. We very much appreciate it. Today, we're going to be getting into Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't really know how I want to introduce this, but it's funny. I haven't seen this movie before. I mean, obviously, there was a big brouhaha about it when it was first introduced and how Sonic looked terrible. And then the movie studio took the time to rework it. And then it came out. And by that time, I had already kind of like went on with my life. So I didn't exactly pick it up. But Dijon chose Sonic for us to review tonight. So I got to sit down and watch it just a couple hours ago. And yeah, we're going to talk about it tonight. But thank you so much, you guys, for listening. Please consider giving us a thumbs up and a subscription, maybe on our YouTube page. We're really trying to build that audience, and it would mean a lot to us if you joined us there. But without much further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dijon because this is his choice. So, Dijon, how do you want to go about this convo?
All right. So, yes, it was definitely my choice. It was between this, and I was going to possibly torture you guys with House Party, but I was just like, you know what? Not yet. Not yet. You know, after all this quarantine stuff is over with in 2 weeks or so, maybe.
Yeah, when everybody's feeling like partying. Yeah.
So give something for people to feel happy about. This one was interesting because, you know, I thought about picking this one right after we did Mortal Kombat because I just went back to a comment I made about the whole thing from how Hollywood is, you know, in the mix of just doing remakes after remakes, from reboots to comic book movies and even TV shows. And it started reminding me, I'm like, well, since Mortal Kombat's here, I'm like, this is beginning to start to be a thing now, and we begin to see these video games become movies. I mean, they were a thing years ago. I mean, like in the 90s and maybe early 2000s, depending on what we're looking for.
Mario Brothers is still hands down the best video game movie.
best worst, 1000%.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. We need to do that.
Yes, definitely.
I'm down for sure.
Yeah.
We got to do that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
As much as I liked this movie, and I liked the concept of them doing the remakes, Dijon, what do you think of the potential to either remake some of the old TV shows? And I can't even remember all of the names. Like, there was Street Rats, there was Street Sharks, there was Thundercats, there was, and I'm trying to only name the really good ones, right? There was Mighty Ducks, which is still on Disney. There was, I mean, I can just keep going. He-Man.
What was it? Beast. What was the ones where it was like animals turned into like Transformers?
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Yeah, Beast Wars movie. That would be awesome. A lot. Yeah. I wouldn't say a live action, but kind of like they did the Lion King movie, Beast Wars movie like that. Wow. There's so many. Like, what do you guys think of that? Like, just moving into taking some of those TV shows. Should they make a movie? Should they revamp them as new shows on these apps? What angle should they go with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am going to say, and this doesn't necessarily pertain to Sonic, but I am getting tired of the member berries. I'm getting a little bit tired about of these sort of like cheap nostalgia plugs. I don't necessarily put Sonic in that because there are a lot of things I actually enjoyed about the movie. But yeah, I don't know if I really want to see too much more of this. Like, hey, remember this? Well, we're going to make you watch it all over again,
And again and again and again.
Right.
And don't have kids.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, because they're that's just gonna help ruin the nostalgia from you, especially if they fuck it up as the time
Right.
goes by.
Right.
So, but your kids are gonna look at it like, oh, this is cool, funky, and you're just like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah, not
Right.
another one.
Like, and I think that's the whole thing. Like, even like, okay, perfect, right there in the comment section. The Exofathom podcast is jumping in, one of our other hosts on the network, and they say that Mummies Alive needs to be a movie. I mean, I still watch Mummies Alive on YouTube. It's saved in my, like, the whole playlist is saved in my, so I'm there with you. It's just there was absolutely so much. And don't get me wrong, I think Sonic, this was like, I'm with you on that, Nick. Like, there are a lot of things that they can save on. Sonic is not one of them. I'm glad they did this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the risk of doing it all wrong. And that's why I'm like, what is the best medium? You know, what's the best way for them to get it out? I think movies are it. You know, either one good shot, give us 2.5 hours, maybe. You either do well or you do bad. Sometimes those series, I'm not counting Disney, but you know, series sometimes gives you way too much room for error, in my opinion, and then you just end up with a whole lot of errors. And this isn't baseball, so
Yeah, and you know what? You guys are telling the truth, like 100%, and I agree. But at the same time, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just going to be either good or bad based off of if you can fit that requirement, or just be satisfactory for your audience. Can you make something new, fresh / somewhat original,
right,
and also pay homage to what was, or just revamp it completely? And I've seen this so many times with things like Ninja Turtles. Like, Nickelodeon has just been over and over. I think they went over like 3 different versions of the animated series, like within 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the movies and the Michael Bay films. So
Yeah.
Wait, Michael Bay did Ninja Turtles?
The latest ones.
The last two.
Mm-hmm.
That's only interesting because Sonic voice, I forgot which turtle he plays, but he plays one of the turtles too. And I didn't know it was a Michael Bay film. So that means we're going to get way more explosions in the sewers. That's a lot of, never mind.
You should check it out. It's the first one is decent. I've never seen the second one.
Okay. Okay. I'll take your word for it. This was pleasant. This was pleasant, and I wasn't expecting this, so I'll take your word for it.
Decent.
All right, I'll watch it on my next airplane.
There's a reason why I haven't watched the second one yet, even though it's like free, I think, somewhere around there.
Oh, gosh.
But I think we're gonna see a lot of that. And we're gonna see a lot of that. And I think we've seen a bit of it too with Transformers, and then jumping into like G.I. Joe, which was total bomb for 2 movies, and now we're getting a Snake Eye, solo film. And I think we're gonna see more of these things come up. Either we're gonna love them or hate them. And Sonic was one of those things where it definitely gave me hope for video game movies. And with the track record that video game movies had, I think Sonic was actually, which one came out first? I think I've seen Detective Pikachu came out first.
Mm-hmm.
That was a video game, literally a video game named Detective Pikachu for the Nintendo, the handheld system, the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And it was totally different. It really didn't take much from the lore of the Pokemon world, but it was different. And I think it's the same thing with Sonic, which was great. I mean, you had this video game without much background, and just kind of take a whole new spin on it and just give it its own personality, its own just everything. Just give it some real flavor to the cinematic world. Mm-hmm. Even though they got comics to draw from too as well. So
I
you said, it wasn't.
Yeah, I could definitely jump on that as well. I was pleasantly surprised. One, I enjoyed that it was only an hour and a half long. Thank you for that. I did not need a 2 hour long Sonic movie.
But didn't
But
you?
no, I actually didn't.
No.
I enjoyed this the right amount, and I think it was just the right length. And what I was really actually kind of surprised was I thought they did take some care to try to build the lore of Sonic because like this is a Sega game based around a blue hedgehog that ran on a platformer, and there wasn't that much more to it.
And I'm sorry to like cut
No,
in on
no, go
that
ahead.
one.
Yeah.
And I think they really had to, because we
Mhm.
literally had about almost 10 years of shitty Sonic games too.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was really impressed with the sort of the background they were starting to build. I'm interested in, the rings. I'm interested in this home world. I'm interested in this sort of multiverse thing that's going on. I'm interested in the fact that Sonic seems much faster than Quicksilver, which is interesting to me because I was doing the math in my head and I'm like, wow, Sonic is actually moving faster than Quicksilver did in that X-Men movie. Where he saved all the mutants from the house.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like he was moving a lot faster. So what I noticed was that when Sonic was moving, everything stood still completely. Whereas with Quicksilver, everything was still sort of moving closely. So that would mean that Sonic is traveling faster than the speed of light, whereas Quicksilver is probably traveling just under the speed of light. So.
See, now if Death Battle is watching this, you give them a nice Death Battle topic, Quicksilver
right.
versus, or
Yeah.
even the Flash versus Sonic. See how that plays out.
I think the Flash might beat Sonic out, but he's definitely pretty close.
I'm sure the Flash would beat Sonic out. My only question would be, would Sonic even think that it's a race? Like, if he powers up, does he pass that amount? Is this normal Sonic speed or supersonic speed?
Right. That's true. We didn't really get to see too much of the supersonic speed. It seems like he can move faster than light just normally.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I kept thinking about doing because there's this one scene, and I know I'm jumping over the place, but they're in the bar and he's like trying to help with the bar fight, which I thought was pretty funny. But everybody's completely still. And that scene took about 30 seconds. Now, a speed of light travels at 299 million miles a second, something like that. So he was traveling 30 times faster than the speed of light because that scene lasted about 30 seconds. Now, Barry Allen can travel something like hundreds of times faster than the speed of light. So,
not in that Zack Snyder cut.
No, definitely not in the Zack Snyder cut.
Superman was like,
I mean, he was fighting Superman. That doesn't count.
That is true, but he wasn't even very fast to begin with. And that's one of my things. It's like I always have a hard time because I think it's one of the most difficult things to portray on film is a speedster. I really think that that's one of the hardest things to kind of shoot. And it's because you can't really understand how fast really fast is. And so I think they did a pretty good job with Sonic, showing that he was very fast.
It's funny you say that too, because it's one of the easiest and cheapest effect to do.
The blur.
Yeah. Well, and not even just the blur, but like when he's in the baseball stadium and he's running around in a circle, and then all of a sudden it just looks like he's like a cell, like in an animation because he's running so fast. You start to see like another image of him. Like that's the type of stuff I appreciate, because I think that getting the true power of a speedster across on film can be really difficult sometimes, and it can be kind of cheesy. Yeah,
it usually comes off very cheesy, and that's why everything you're saying makes total sense to me.
Just, but yeah,
or maybe it's the post editing isn't always as good as it was in Sonic.
Right. But Dejan, what do you want to tackle first, man? What did you want to get into?
This movie was so surprising. I mean, to tell you the truth, I loved everything about it. But I guess the best thing to start off with, I mean, even though this movie is a year old, and like I had mentioned earlier in the last podcast, this was sincerely the last movie I got a chance to see before everything getting closed down, because it did come out in February, which I'm happy in a sense, because I think the biggest thing that really drawn people to really see this, besides their doubts, because it was another video game movie, like they were like, oh, it's gonna be shit, dude. Look, they got Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, or as they call him, Eggman now. Or like, whatever. I'm like, I like Jim Carrey as an actor, and I want to see how this guy is going to portray his character and how he's going to take it. And I wish I had more time. I would have, on a personal level, I would have sent you guys some of the interviews just solely with him. And this dude, and the way he talks about how he wanted to be this character, is this interesting shit.
Yeah,
and he's just an interesting individual.
Agreed. Yeah,
and,
I think he's honestly, this is a return to form for Jim Carrey. This is kind of like the Jim Carrey we saw back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s, because for a long time he hasn't done comedy. Right. He hasn't done many comedic stuff. So it's nice to see him back in a zany role. I think he did a pretty damn good job. I mean, I mean, like, Robotnik wasn't even a character. He was just a boss at the end, So
I think this, I totally agree with getting some old Jim Carrey, but this is one of those examples when you put this, and let's do what is that, Man on the Moon, the Truman Show? Mm-hmm. Put this and that side by side, or either of those. Just put it, and you think to yourself,
I was gonna say, put in Batman Forever. Throw in that Riddler.
Okay, throw in the Riddler. Jim Carrey, and I've always thought this. I think, in my opinion, this is one of those movies that kind of proves my point that he is probably one of the most underrated. I'd call him an acting savant of a sort. Like, he's one of those people that you look at him and you think like, oh, okay, he can only do one thing, and then you're just like, oh yeah. I totally agree. He's really good at this.
And I actually prefer Jim Carrey as a dramatic actor. He's basically, one of my favorite movies is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And he's in that movie, and it's a dramatic role for him. But like, I really, really like him as a dramatic actor. Just kind of like I liked Robin Williams as a dramatic actor.
Right.
Maybe it's because it's just a juxtaposition of how crazy they are otherwise.
I think it's an example of how, just keeping it real, how broken you have to be that great of a comedic genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tortured you are.
Yeah, tortured. That's a great word for it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah.
And I, like, without getting too morbid, I'm just going to leave it at that, because anybody, hey, listen, if you're tuning in or if you hear this later and you want to find out what exactly I'm hinting at, you can Google or YouTube comedians talking about their actual lives and without making jokes. You'll get it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely agree with that. Jim Carrey, in my opinion, he was this movie. He was absolutely the reason I was watching this movie. And James Marsden, at the end of the day, he did the James Marsden thing, which is keep you interested in what they wrote. But Jim Carrey, I mean, even the guy who played his sidekick, like, their dynamic was kind of like, all right, I could watch a mini series with these two.
Right. Yeah. I agree. And poor James Marsden, man, he's just a warm body.
Unfortunately, in this movie, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, he's a great actor.
He is a great actor, and he was great in Westworld. I really enjoyed him in Westworld. But
Westworld, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Give me a reason to watch it even more. So
that's right. That's right. But yeah, no, I think that for what they were, the performances were great. I mean, Jim Carrey did really well. I really like James Marsden. I like the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law was busting
she was funny.
Me up. She was
the pretzel lady.
The pretzels lady sister specifically, the one that got tied up at the end.
Right. Yeah, I thought she was funny. I think she was very on point.
Yeah.
With the, like I like how they threw her in, because everybody's not always going to be okay with it. It makes sense for the kids to go along with it, but it's like, it doesn't always make sense for every adult you come into contact with. Be like, oh, that just makes perfect sense. All right, cool. I mean, I trust you, so I trust this situation. Like, no.
Right. And they did play on that line a little bit too, where it's like, you guys aren't going to make a big deal about this blue hedgehog that's talking to you, like
that most people
do. Yeah. Oh man, good times.
There's something I want to say, but I might leave that alone. I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh boy! All right, come on. Keep it. Let's get controversial with it on a Sonic podcast.
I'll tell you this from watching this movie. This movie particularly, I loved it so much because some of the controversial things you see from like this, I guess, politically correct things. People would be like, let's put like a mixed race couple in there, or get that stereotype of a black woman in there. I think, or the kind of like Southern hospitality-ish discrimination you would get like going to like a motorcycle bar.
Right.
I think all those things were played nicely.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially in the bar when he's like, "I don't like your kind," and you're like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Right.
Hipsters.
Hipsters. That was great.
I thought that was so cliche that it was hilarious. It's like, oh, hipsters.
Yeah,
that rhymes.
But it is true. A lot of country folk do not like hipsters. So I think that's fair.
I think so as well.
Right.
Now I do want to say one thing about that bar scene as far as everything goes. I did not like how Tom was against it. And then it's like, oh, okay, I'll just give you one night. Like, no. If you're gonna be dad, you be dad.
Right.
And if you're gonna be buddy, then you be buddy. There's no dad buddy dad. No.
But I'll tell you this on what you're saying. That's honestly from what I observe from other parents, and what I refuse to do to myself as a parent, and what my father demonstrates to me too as well. Is that's a modern day parent, to tell you the truth. It's more of not being like setting those boundaries of like a son and father thing. There's just like, you do get mothers and sons and daughters and fathers and sons and daughters. They really try to go into that whole activity of just that concept of like, I got to be your friend, to have that relationship with you. Then I agree with it a little bit. But I do agree with like shit my father has told me. You're the child. Mm-hmm. I'm the parent. Mm-hmm. Nothing more, nothing less. You always going to be a child in my eyes as long as I'm living. Mm-hmm. And I think, that kind of took bits and pieces of like modern day parenting, like, what the hell? Let me give into it. Mm-hmm. And there's that scene on the whole car chase thing with the family in the car, and he's in there like, I'm gonna take that away from you if you don't shut up. And the kid is like, "No, you're not."
You're right, Dad.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I love the back. I love the Hollywood like back talk to the parent thing. Like nobody's going to get one across the face.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he did do what he said. He said he was going to shut this thing down. Well, and with you saying that, I think the most interesting part of that is, I don't think the parents in Hollywood are parents when they're on the clock. That makes sense.
It's true, because I shouldn't speak too much, but I do got clients that are in the business, and I do see that, and I can get that reference 100%.
Yeah, it's
with their children.
It's a very interesting thing, but it's kind of the cost part of the fee to do the job.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hey, I get it. It sucks. It's rough, but not everybody can do the job either way. What I do like and what I do think about with the whole Sonic and Tom and so was that Tom's wife? I just thought about that. Mm-hmm. Girlfriend, mm-hmm. wife. Okay, wife. Cool.
Yeah.
So that dynamic, when they were able to make that, I thought it was interesting how it was painted first by Sonic so early, almost as if like they had some type of awareness of him. But then you're like, wait, there's no way they can. This isn't adding up. And then it adds up, and then you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
He's creepy.
Right? Yeah. You get it. It was like, was that just me? Like thank you, because that's what I was trying to figure out. What am I saying? Sonic was stalking them,
Yeah, he's stalking everybody basically.
And right, and then he tells them, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay. You were stalking us, little blue alien. We're not going to question if you were possibly trying to kill us. Maybe that's why you were stalking us from the beginning. Now we're nice people."
The country folk.
I did like the
He's like, no, not country folk. Guns and pitchforks.
yeah,
That's right.
I did like the nod to Knuckles at the beginning. That was kind of cool.
That was really cool.
The hunters of Sonic's land.
Mhm.
They were all little Knuckles echidnas. That was
I
pretty
thought
cool.
the same.
And that's why I kind of like this movie too, is that they did a good job about trying to build this sort of, I think they're trying to build like this universe almost.
Right.
You know, especially with like explaining Sonic's powers, how his quills have the same sort of energy, which would make sense why Robotnik is so obsessed with him.
Mhm.
And, you know, then Robotnik being on that, you know, that mushroom planet and just going crazy. I thought that was pretty awesome too.
That was pretty cool.
You know, which makes a whole lot of sense. Like, yeah, so I'm kind of excited and looking forward to what else they do, because they made me actually care about a video game that I, you know, played when I was 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
used to read the comics and stuff, and I did like the kind of like nod to the Supersonic a little bit at the end when he's going against Robotnik.
Right.
He didn't turn yellow, but that's okay.
That's all right.
We'll have to see if he does that at some point.
I got to correct people sometimes. They were like, "Oh shit, Supersonic's a knockoff of Super Saiyan." I'm like,
What?
"Ah man, if you
Supersonic,
play
sure.
if you play Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis, bro,
Yeah,
that's been out before."
yeah, that was out before Dragon Ball.
Why is it always a competition? People just don't
Because
enjoy
that's
good
the way
stuff.
nerds talk about stuff.
Just enjoy good stuff. You know, I absolutely I thought it was great how they took us through all the different stages of nostalgia. Then they gave us a little bit of break, and then they would hit us with a little bit more, and then it gave us a break from the video game, that is. And then by the end of the movie, you got every single bit of everything. And I mean everything from the games, from Robotnik and all of his mini machines. Sonic, how he gets his red shoes, Sonic and the rings, making sense of the rings as to why he's always chasing them down. How every time he fell and he was in possession of the rings,
They
dropped
scattered.
them.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like that.
That
I like that.
was
That
dope.
pretty good.
I loved it.
Mhm.
And the only 2 times they didn't scatter was when he dropped them and they fell down into Frisco through that one ring,
Yeah,
and when he dropped them on his way through the other portal, and that's where Tom grabbed them. Those are the only 2 times they didn't scatter.
Mm.
Sorry.
I was in. That's dope. I mean, I just noticed that a bit when because I just literally rewatched the movie for like, oh shit, the 5th time.
Yeah, my God.
And it was pretty dope. I never did really notice that about the whole ring thing, and I just noticed that they even did the whole homage to the big ring thing. You would jump in when you played the game. That was dope.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and it actually contextualizes something that had basically no meaning when the video game was made. It was just a thing that you were supposed to collect. Mario had coins, Sonic had rings,
Right.
and so I like that they kind of retconned that to actually mean something now.
Right. And also I can't in the things that were referenced from the game without mentioning at the very end getting Tails to come through his own set of rings and thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, this is where he has to be. I'll find him here. And it's like, wait. But
Another after credit scene.
But oh, you missed it.
No, I saw it this time. I'm just pissed that I had to watch through the credits.
You gotta love it. So it's just
he was like this bad rap music.
Yeah,
this bad rap music.
Fuck, man.
Who was the wait? I just thought that was a Wiz Khalifa song.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Wow. Yeah. I wasn't really paying attention to it until you just said that. It made me think like that was a rap song, wasn't it? That's what rap sounds like nowadays. Hibbity hop on the Sonic box.
The hippity hoppity.
That's what happened. That's what's gonna happen when we review House Party.
Oh God, you're not gonna no. I'm not doing it.
I also thought it was kind of cool.
Then,
I also thought it was kind of cool the way Robotnik as a villain kind of seamlessly like fits into the modern time. Like him being like a drone genius actually made a lot of sense because he had a whole lot of robots in the video games. And I think it's kind of cool that they were able to make that make sense as well as the Eggman thing, which I never actually got, because back in the day they used to call him Eggman. It was just because he looked like an egg, I think.
I think
his
it's
egghead, but his robots were always like circular, cylindrical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I can be wrong. I heard it somewhere. Like I said, I can be wrong. I think it was just the name the Japanese people gave him.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think that you're right. Yeah. I think because it was always Dr. Robotnik, but then somewhere in the Urkel cartoon, he started getting called the Eggman. If you guys remember the original Sonic cartoon from the 90s, where Urkel was the voice of Sonic. Yeah.
They threw that chili dog reference in there. That was great.
Yeah, he did. I used to love that cartoon. And then it got really bad. It was like the first I liked it was, is it Jaleel White?
Yeah.
I liked the Jaleel White, and then they redid it with somebody else in new animation. And I was like, nah, this isn't the same.
That's what happened.
Jaleel White.
you guys just remember it. I gotta talk to my father because I think we got some old early sketches of that TV show because we used to work for the animator that worked on it.
Oh, that's awesome! Oh yeah, that's amazing. I really love that. Yeah, I love that back. Original. That was great.
That'd be pretty cool.
Sell it online.
Is John Ralphio the voice of Sonic?
Yes.
Okay.
Freaking yes.
I love it.
John Ralphio.
Man.
What is his real name?
John Ralphio.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I call him.
His name is Ben Schwartz. Ben Schwartz.
It's like, I call him John Ralphio, and everybody knows exactly who I'm talking about every time.
Yeah.
You know, when jumping in this, if I did do the intro with you guys, I was literally not going to give the actors' names. I was going to be like John Ralphio. We know him from fucking Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, yeah.
You know him from that Kevin Hart movie, and we got Scott Summers from X-Men in this.
That's right. Yep. And we got
Dumb and Dumber as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Yep.
That would have been pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
Give all the other stuff they were in.
But yeah, so what do you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up about this? I'm gonna say I was very pleasantly surprised. Again, I think that it helped that it was only an hour and a half. But it was, like I would actually like to see what the original movie was, because I know that they had to have changed some things, and they probably punched up the story a little bit. But I would have liked to see what the original movie was like, because the original trailer, there was nothing in the movie from the original trailer.
Honestly, I think it was just a couple of beyond that whole character redesign.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that was different was the dialogue. Some of the dialogue was changed. I noticed because I did rewatch that trailer. Was saying that the movie was going to be out 2019 November versus the new trailer that we're pushing this back to February because of Valentine's Day weekend. And I was like, oh, then rewatching the movie again, I'm like, oh, so they changed that dialogue. So I was like, oh, okay. And I'm trying to remember, the director who did this movie was the guy who did the first Deadpool.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So he was very adamant about really trying to correct the situation and doing his best, and he's jumping on board to do the second movie, and I sincerely hope he still delivers that magic.
Yeah,
I mean, after seeing it, I was like, I'm really hyped for the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am interested in seeing it, especially since I think they're going to bring Knuckles in.
Right. Knuckles,
obviously,
Tails,
my favorite character from Sonic 3. Only because he had the capability of gliding and climbing, which made him feel really OP.
And his people are gang members.
Right. Yes, that's
right.
True.
There is a gang of them, literally.
Yeah.
They are colored up as well.
I think another reason why I decided to choose this is because just Thursday really wasn't much of a freaking press conference or announcement. Sega is, and they're claiming to celebrate 30 years of Sonic the Hedgehog as of this year, and they basically showed off a crappy Sonic game remastered that I don't think many people can care less about.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that interests me is that next year they're putting a little collection together yet again. They've done this before for like PS2, Xbox, and GameCube at the time. They're putting another collection where you can play 1, 2, 3, and I think up to Sonic and Knuckles on a current console. So I'm hyped about that because I got that shit scattered on old systems, which I can make money off of and be happy to just play it on my Xbox or current PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Would it kill Sega and Nintendo to just make an open world Sonic RPG?
Yes.
I mean, come on. I don't really like side scrollers that much, and
they've tried.
I think they had one, didn't they? Yeah,
they've tried. I think the best or closest example would be the Dreamcast Sonic Adventures 1, and I think those were the last two games that were really good. Sonic Adventures 1 and 2, and the side scroller that just came out called Sonic Mania. Which, if you guys are up for it, you guys can buy those on the Xbox, since I know you guys both got an Xbox.
Buy them for free, you said?
No, nothing is free, sir. Ever.
You're right, because I pay for the subscription that gives me the. You're right. Okay,
that's right. Yep.
They're like $10. They're like $10. They're like $10.
Yeah.
Or we can just account share and just piggyback off each other's accounts and
game share.
There we go. Do it.
I do want to say, as far as the Sonic movie, I appreciated not just the showing all the different levels of his power in the first movie, but in a really minute level, showing the fact that he has no understanding or no knowledge of his powers, really, except for the fact that he has a power. I like that because it lends so much room for a second and a third, and I really don't like when they go past the second one, if I'm being honest, but maybe even fifth and sixth, do it like Ernest.
Oh, you know how Ernest.
That's right.
Well, this is a children's movie too, so I'm sure they're going to try to make as many sequels as they can. But we might be seeing the Chaos Emeralds at some point.
Hopefully the next movie, since they're bringing in Knuckles.
Right.
There's rumors that they're casting Jason Momoa as to play Knuckles' voice.
Of course they are.
I'll be cool with it, tell you the truth.
That'll be interesting.
I mean, yeah. Knuckles is supposed to be a gruff.
I'm down for that
character.
Calling someone Khaleesi. He had that tribal experience too. He really get into it.
Right.
You're not fast, Sonic.
Only if they give Knuckles some Dothraki tattoos on his chest.
Well, he does have that scar across his eye.
Oh, he does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, back in the day, that's right. Yep, I remember that.
People had them tattoos in the beginning.
They did, yeah.
I didn't catch the tattoos.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one for sure. Again, do you guys have anything else we wanted to add before we wrap up here?
Just looking forward to the next one. That's all I got.
Yeah. Honestly, that movie it did what it had to do. It had a nice beat to it. It covered everything I guess you would want in a movie, from action to heartfelt moments to it was good.
Yeah,
and I did like how emotional Sonic got. Like he really, I'm sorry, John Ralphio, Ben Schwartz. Sorry, hey, I remember his real name though. But I like how he really dug into the dialogue and those moments that really made you like, yo, Sonic is really mad at you, bro. Like he not feeling that carelessness you throwing out there, young Tom.
Yeah.
I like
and I liked that it too, like he was kind of an outcast, like he was living in that little town watching everybody being a creeper. And it's just because he was lonely, and didn't feel like he could make himself be seen. So I thought that was nice.
He could have been Crazy Carl's friend, but he wouldn't be.
He could have been. Call Crazy Carl. He was right the entire time. Well, cool. Yeah. So should we get to our ratings? Yeah.
Any predictions for a part 2?
Yes. Well, I mean, we're definitely gonna get Knuckles, Chaos Emeralds, Tails. Robotnik will return.
Robot
Um,
Sonic.
with his
ooh,
mustache.
Robo Sonic
You
would be
use
cool.
that little quill to just power him up to go just as fast.
That
In
would be
fact, he
cool.
does have.
Yeah.
There is a Robosonic in Sonic 2, isn't it? Sonic 3.
Two. That's when it. No,
Uh,
two. That's when they introduced
Sonic
him.
2. Yeah. Okay.
mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
So I mean,
that
yeah,
that looks like that's on the agenda as well. Then
And we
for
could see
sure.
Super Sonic. Or did people
Yes.
say Super Saiyan Sonic?
Super
Super
Saiyan
Saiyan
Sonic.
Sonic.
Now I do have
And
a question.
yeah.
How did the power? How did the Quill get power back? We didn't talk about that.
What do you mean?
So when Robotnik's on the Mushroom Planet, the Quill is energized again, but Sonic stripped it of its power before he pushed him through.
Yeah, I didn't understand that totally. I think that maybe a remnant of the power was still left over, I guess.
And he was able to
That's,
tap into it still.
yeah, maybe it, like, I don't know, maybe part of the ship or something like that. Or maybe his power regenerates. Maybe his quills regenerate power,
Oh,
you
it
know?
is
Oh, yeah.
unlimited.
Like,
It is
That's
unlimited.
where
yeah.
that's where Robotnik lost all his hair. He wrote like rubbing it like.
Yeah, he's getting the static electricity going. He's trying to charge it up.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Will he be back for Christmas? Maybe. He might give us a
Maybe.
hint. Part 2 might come out
Yeah.
around Christmas.
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
2021. Yeah, they would have already been ahead of the game because they've been finished with this one.
Yeah. And I think this is just kind of like it's such an easy role for Jim Carrey to be in. I don't think that it would be too hard to get him to come back
Come
because
back,
it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
you know,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is what Jim Carrey has, you know, been doing for the past 4 decades. So,
And I love the idea that he has his transformation in the Robotnik. I only say that because I played the games up to a certain bit, and since they gave him like a voice and everything,
mhm.
if you guys ever play like the games I played on the Sonic Adventure games, you'll see that he has that transformation, like his voice and everything. I'm like, hey, this dude is definitely going on to this full Robotnik, and I'm loving it.
Mhm.
That
Nice.
mad genius, even more so.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I like that he was throwing the rock that was his friend. It's just like, what did he
That's
say? Rock
his Wilson.
on?
We do some reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
hope
got
that
me
was
with some
improv.
laughs. Yeah, definitely got me with some laughs. All right, let's get into our reviews, guys. Our grades for this one.
Ratings.
Yeah, ratings. There we go.
So I'll
Do it.
take the lead. I'll lead us through the tunnel tonight.
Do it your dancing Sonics. They're
With my
distracting.
dancing Sonics.
Mhm.
This movie overall for me gets a solid 8. Haha. This movie gets an 8 from me. And honestly, I couldn't really think of anything I didn't like. It could have gotten even a higher rating, but you have to leave some margin for error.
Yes.
But so yeah, I give it an 8 just because there was nothing unsatisfactory, and it left me wanting more.
Mm. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna do probably a 7.3 ish. Feels about right to me.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
not even it. I am going down to the decimal points, but
That's
yeah,
right.
like I think I mean it's definitely a solid 7. I think that the story is good. It's nothing that blew my mind. The acting is decent. Again, Jim Carrey is really the only standout actor there. But it was interesting. It helped build the Sonic universe lore, which I'm interested in. It kind of retcons some things that didn't have any meaning before, which I appreciate. So, and you know, they postponed it for a year to redo the graphics, and so I think that deserves some accolades. And yeah, I'm definitely between a 7 and a 7.5 for this.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give it a Rotten Tomato, man, and an IMDb. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Oh wow, nice.
No, I'm messing with you guys. I give it an 8.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just for actually no, I'm gonna just give it a full blown 9 for me because I loved everything about it. There's nothing that bugged me about that at all. To tell you the truth, I'm hyped. I'm just completely hyped about the next one.
For sure. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything really to criticize about it. Again, this is a kids movie, and I don't think that anybody should be trying to compare it to some adult movies.
And a
Right.
nerd movie too.
And it is a nerd movie for sure.
Right.
But I think it does well for both. I think it's a good kids movie, and I think it's a good movie for people who are Sonic nerds. So
Definitely. All right. So with a 8, a 7.3, and a 9, Sonic gets a 24.3 out of 30, which I believe is our highest rating to date.
it might be. No, I think Love, Death, and Robots was
Just wait until
Nice.
House Party. Just wait until House Party.
Just wait
3.
until House Party. What about House
Yeah.
Party number 1 and House Party number 2?
All right. Well, yeah, you guys good with that? Or do we have anything else we wanted to add? Good to wrap up. How y'all feeling?
I want a chili dog.
Yeah, chili dog does sound pretty good.
Yeah, no, I have nothing more. I'm actually sitting here thinking like I kind of want to watch this movie again.
Ooh,
Nice. All right, get the replayability. Yeah.
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 do it
You
in
know,
black and white.
make it like a film noir. Yeah.
I could actually,
Nice.
I do have a feature on my TV where I could do that, so that's interesting.
Ooh, you are lucky because I actually want to. I'm thinking about, man, how would that movie be in black and white?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I misspoke. It's not on my television. It's on my the app that I watch this stuff on. Ooh, same thing.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We very much appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know I certainly did. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section, perhaps giving us a thumbs up and a subscription on our YouTube page. That would really help us out. We very much appreciate anytime you guys take the time to tune in with us. If you want to check out what Keelan does with his podcast, If Numbers Could Talk, that's on at Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Please go check him out. He's got a YouTube page and a Facebook page as well, If Numbers Could Talk. If you're interested in data about not just sports, movies, pop culture, but all of the above, go check him out. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. If Numbers Could Talk. I also got a podcast called Exofathom. It's on Monday and Fridays. Please go check that out. It's on at 8 p.m. I'm on the Think Ring Talks page along with Keelan and this podcast, so you can check that out all there. I also have a Facebook page and a YouTube page at Exofathom. But if you're a purist and just want to hear us blabber on about movies, we very much appreciate you. And thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
And I'm the mustard.
Good night, everyone.